Hello, Mavs fans, friends. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined as always by Josh Bowe. We are Pod Maverick. This is our game recap after dark. Josh, how are you?
Very good. Very weird game. I guess the Mavericks are just the greatest team in the NBA now.
So you want to know what I saw? So I missed a lot of the first half. I had it up, but I was like, it's kids are home, holiday, dinner time, just a lot of stuff going on. And when I saw the score at halftime, because I really didn't I watched a lot of the first quarter, then third and fourth quarter, didn't see the second quarter when things really got out of hand. I thought of the scene at like the very end of Fight Club where they're like staring over the city about getting ready to be blown up. And it's just, it just made me think of like the whole, like when you're free to do anything at this point. Like the Mavericks have nothing left to lose. Nothing. They were down 7 rotation players today. No, 6 rotation players.
Because one came back.
And D'Angelo Russell. And then Cooper Flagg came back. Like this was a hilarious shit kicking. And number one, the Mavericks 3-point heater that they're on right now. Do you remember I had just started writing for Mavs Moneyball. It must have been, it's like early into the career. They went on a 3-game stretch with Dirk out where the team shot 60% from the field with like being led by Chris Kaman and OJ Mayo.
Oh yeah. Then when the first like 2 weeks of the season, they had like,
and it was like
offense in the league.
What? Because Dirk was out and like OJ Mayo was 50% from 3, and it was like they're just never going to lose. And like that's how these last 3 games have felt. And from a fun standpoint, I got to admit I've really enjoyed the shit kicking that they've been giving. That they beat both the Jazz and the Knicks. However, I think it says more about the teams that they beat than the Mavericks. And I kind of at a loss for how to talk about this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I love how every time the Mavericks play a team, I love how they send the opposing team's fan base into an existential crisis.
What a great take.
Hilarious. It's so funny.
That's a good
fan bases, announcers. Like if you ever look at another fan, like even when the Mavs lose because they keep every game close, like you'll just see announcers, team officials, fans being like, every time they play the Mavs, the post game is like, we need to be better than that. Because the Mavericks either beat them or they keep the game shockingly competitively close enough to where the other team has to look in the mirror and be like, what is wrong? What is wrong with our team? Knicks fans are doing that right now. Obviously, Jazz fans, I think Jazz fans already knew that there was something wrong with their team before the Mavericks played them. But yeah, it's funny. This was entirely like a 3-point heater.
Fast break points too, though, right?
A lot of those fast break points were threes. I mean, the Mavericks made 15 threes, and 12 of them came from 2 players, Max Christie and Klay Thompson combined.
Max Christie, my God.
Yeah, he made 9 shots. 8 of them were threes. 8 of 10 from 3. I think 6 of them were in the first half. New York had no. I mean, New York is they're in a bad spot. They're in a bad spot before they played Mavericks. They just recently lost to the Kings. So the Mavericks
4-game slide now. They've lost 4 in a row.
And the previous games they were missing Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. Those guys came back, and it still didn't really make a difference. And again, it just comes down to the Mavericks were ready to play. The other team wasn't. The Mavericks played harder. The Knicks did not play very hard until the second half when the game was already over.
Yep.
And the Mavericks again are one of the best driving teams in the league. They're top 10 in drive. We said this before. They're top 10 in drives per game. They're top 10 in field goal percentage on drives. They didn't score a lot in the paint, but those drives were opening up a lot of those threes, whether it's pushing the ball in transition or touching the paint in the half court and then forcing rotations and making the Knicks scramble. Like teams cannot keep the Mavericks in front of them right now, whether it's Najee Marshall, Cooper Flagg, Brandon Williams, even Ryan Nembhard a little bit. And even though he didn't shoot the ball well, the Mavericks are just getting to where they want to go with the ball with a live dribble. And the way they're playing without their bigs, and like they're they are a better team with Anthony Davis record wise. They're 10-10 with him. They're a billion games under 500 without him. But these last few games without Anthony Davis, and then Dwight Powell playing a lot of minutes, which is funny, and he's been really positive playing lately. They're faster, and the driving lanes are open. Now on the other end of the spectrum, like I don't know if defensively they can hold up. We'll see, but like Cooper and Najee have more room to work with when Anthony Davis isn't parked around the rim or sucking up bandwidth and possessions. Like they are playing a much freer style of basketball, and if the other team isn't ready for it, they're kind of blowing the doors off of them, and they're hitting a hot streak shooting wise. I don't know how long it lasts, but they've been consistently driving the ball well for like 2 months now, and I think we're just seeing what happens when they make threes when they get open shots based off of those drives.
Yep. The two guys hitting lots of threes is just, it's a great deal of fun. I've really like this 3-game stretch, and one of the things I've noticed, this is unrelated to the game, but once again you see when Mavericks role players play well, can't trade them for anything.
You don't hear that after they lose by 20 to Chicago, but
guys, this is the whole fucking point. Like sell high. Granted, that's not how it works either. I understand this, but it's just that's a very funny refrain to see on social media after one of these games.
Oh no, I got my mentions were all got to roll it back, see if this team's healthy, give it another go, which is, I mean that's what fans
playing
are
hard
about
is
win.
So underrated from a watchability standpoint. Like we talked about this after the Jazz game. Like you invest in hard playing guys. I mean, like the Klay Thompson leading by example from this way is just so much fun. 21 minutes, 14 points, 4-7 from distance. He's doing lots and lots of little stuff. He's getting the team up and going. Kids sticking with Caleb Martin in the starting lineup, even though he was just a hilariously weird mixed bag of stats, is always fun. I mean, Najee Marshall's the guy right now. Like him and Klay are like the straws that stir this drink for the last several games, minus Cooper. I mean, Cooper, I think we talk about in the second half of this. At Mavs Heimline in the chat says, Moussa Cisse, untouchable. Actually, what time? Let's talk about Cisse for the rest of this first portion of the podcast, and then I want to talk about the other stuff in the second half portion of the podcast. I hopped on Mavs Moneyball 2012, maybe 2013. So I got to witness the slow death of the post-2000s Dirk basketball, which meant a whole lot of very weird and mediocre players, draft picks, random free agency signings, etc. The only other player who is remotely like Cisse to me in terms of potential impact that I've seen in the entire time that we've been doing this is like second round draft pick Jay Crowder, and the Mavericks moved on from him pretty quickly after like a year and part of a season. Cisse, Cisse's real. I think Cisse's real. Is that crazy? Let's talk about him.
I don't know. He's still super raw, and like there's still like he gets out of position on some stuff, and Mitchell Robinson kind of
but Mitchell Robinson's like the ideal. Like that's what I would want from Cisse is Mitchell Robinson, right?
No, I know. And Mitchell Robinson beat his ass a couple times in the first half, but that's okay. Like Cisse is a two-way rookie. Like he has to learn.
Yep.
He runs the floor hard. Like I said, it's so fun watching him sprint and bust his ass when the Mavericks secure a defensive rebound. He had 4 block shots. He's just he is so athletic and so nimble. I think he just needs to learn how to play. Like, I think he just needs minutes. Like I want to just see him play as long as he can. He had 4 fouls. Like his fouling is bad because of course he's a two-way big undrafted rookie. He's going to foul a lot. So it's been hard for him to, even with these injuries to the bigs, he hasn't been able to play big minutes because he fouls like 3 to 4 times a game, and it's hard for him to stay on the floor. But he's played 20 minutes in 20 minutes or more for 3 straight games, which is the first time he's done that. Dude, his last 3 games, he's averaging like a double-double. He's averaging like 10 and 10 in his last 3 games in like 20 minutes a game. It's kind of incredible. Yeah, he's at 13 rebounds in that first Jazz game, 10 in the next, and then 9 rebounds tonight. 10 points in the first Jazz game, then 9 points, then 15 points tonight or today. I don't know how real it is, but he's worth like they absolutely need to find a way to convert him to a full-time contract so that they don't run out of availability.
That's what
second half of the season, he has to play as many minutes as he can with foul trouble. Like he has to be in the rotation, and you throw him out there until he fouls out for the rest after the trade deadline. Like they have to. And he needs that time.
Here's where my thought process becomes, everyone, just so you understand where I'm coming from. As you build a team, you have to find pieces within the margins that are inexpensive. An undrafted rookie is exactly that. You just, unless you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have a gazillion draft picks and can just do it year over year, you have to get lucky. Free agency was how Mark Cuban built the 2000 Mavs. Free agency was how they tried to build the 2010 Mavs, and that didn't work out for anybody. Through the draft is how you build a franchise. It eventually gets too expensive, but having young, inexpensive bites at the apple is the way to go. And Cisse, I don't know his age, as a rotation replacement level big man, I'm not talking like future starter. I'm not being crazy. I'm saying like him and Nembhard as your, let's just say somewhere in your 8 to 10 man range.
Yeah.
That's nice. And and of course you can probably look at me and say something to the effect of, oh, Kirk, you can find guys like that every year. And I think it was Locked on Mavs Nick Angstad who said this today. He tweeted something to the effect of like, this is the first time I've liked all of the Mavs two-way guys to be potential contributors. I don't know if I agree with him, but I also can see the argument because like over the years, we see these guys that come in and play a particular position, or they're out putting up preposterous numbers in the G League, and it's just a different sport. You know, it's like Brandon Williams working out is great, but Brandon Williams is also 25. He's not an answer. Like he's not like Brandon Williams being on the team when he's 29 would be incredibly crazy to me.
He's actually 26.
Okay. So then Andrew Nembhard at 22 being on the team when he's 25, that's less crazy to me.
Yep. It's 23. Yeah.
It's a different deal. So it's like you got to find guys like this on the way up to help elevate your team. And I like Cisse. I like him so much more than I did. I didn't even think about him during the Mavs Summer League run, which kind of tells you how he's worked himself into, because he was with the Summer League team, wasn't he?
So yeah, Summer League and then the training camp roster.
Yeah,
actually, I can't remember if he was on Summer League, but he earned his spot in preseason. He played his ass off in the preseason.
Yeah, and that's just like you really want to. And if I'm wrong about Cisse, if it was a different Cisse, I feel bad about that. So nobody.
But you want guys who give a shit, and he gives a shit, especially like now. Like they are rebuilding. Like this isn't going to be a quick fix, barring Cooper Flagg's trajectory. Like you need guys like that.
That's right.
I mean, I'm sure he helps in practice too. Like whenever they can practice, like you want guys that force everyone else to kind of meet that energy level and that expectation level of, trying hard, which again is pretty important.
All right, let's take a quick break here. Thanks so much for hanging out with Pod Maverick. If you want to support the show, there's 3 ways to do so. The first is listen to the ads. We got to put them in. I know sometimes it feels like a lot on some of these shows, particularly on like the group therapy. But this is how we get paid, the direct way we get paid by our advertisers and that sort of thing. Second way is by telling your friends, grow the show. This is we have 3 newish writers at Mavs Moneyball, and I tell them that if you're with us now, you're going to be with us for the long haul, because this is not exactly the most fun time to cover the Mavericks, meaning mid-January when things have the potential to get funky. So grow the show. Help us now. We're looking forward to hanging around as long as we can here. The third is quite literally there are some links. There's a what do you want to call it? A Venmo link. If you just want to send us money, we'll always take it. We're grateful. We'll be right back after the ads. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out. I will do a Mavs party if there are people who want to talk about this game. I'm interested to hear what you say. This was a much more real victory than either of those Jazz games because the Knicks are the 3 seed in the East. So I had a great time, and I would like to talk with you guys about it if you are at all interested. All right. So Musa Cisse, we briefly touched on Clay. We touched on Max Christie. Nice to see Cooper back. Kind of a obviously like led the team in plus minus. Very impactful game from him. This is kind of is this silly? Like he 18 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Like that feels like a baseline game for Cooper. Like just kind of a standard Cooper Flagg game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a little deceiving his stat line because they kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half. Like he was awesome in the first half. I mean, I'm going to look at it right now. In the first half, he was 6 of 8 from the floor. He had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Like he looked like he was on his way to a 25, maybe 30 point night, but they didn't need him to do that because they were up by 28 points at halftime. He started the game. Like I thought his disposition level to start the game was very good. I thought he was very smart in the way he attacked. The Knicks have an interesting team in that they have a lot of big wings, but they also have a lot of small guards. Like they have Jalen Brunson, they got Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, like bigger wings forwards that you think they could throw at Cooper, which they tried to. But they also play, Jalen Brunson and Landry Shamet and Deuce McBride, a lot of smaller guards. And I thought the Mavericks did a good job getting him into some advantageous scenarios against Shamet and against Brunson. And like trying to screen those big wings off of him so he could go to work on a smaller guy. I remember he had a post up against Shamet and he didn't waste any time, and he kind of took 2 back down dribbles, spun, shot basically like an uncontested, little midi, and he drilled it. His jumper looked really good tonight. I know he went a little cold in the second half, but again, the second half basically like doesn't count. But he was 2 of 4 from mid range, and he was 1 of 4 from 3. But I think in the first half, he was 1 of 2 in the first half, 2 of 3 in the first half from mid range. So his jumper was working, and then he got to the rim well, and he attacked in the fast break. Like I really liked his mentality in this game, and I thought he was very smart. Like you see who the Knicks could put on him, and you worry like, oh, is he going to force it against Bridges? Is he going to force it against Anunoby? And no, he was very patient, and he got the matchups he wanted and took good shots. Ended up finishing with 4 turnovers, which is a little too much, but hey, it was still, I loved his game.
Yeah, I saw 2 of the turnovers, and I think they happened in the fast break. And if you're going to turn the ball over,
he had a bad one in the second half in the fast break, which is like,
But yeah, if you're turning it over, pressing your advantage, I have a hard time getting too frustrated with it. Turnovers when it's like a slower back to the back possession, you lose the ball being sloppy at driving to the back. It's something like that I hate worse than your guys are already back on defense and they're figuring it out. It's funny just how 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Like, he did fine.
I know. That's how good he is. And he looked good. Like he didn't look physically limited with the ankle. Like I'm glad that they sat him out the extra game. I think he needed it. He looked fresh.
Did you read the Kirk Goldsberry piece about him on The Ringer?
I haven't yet.
You should look it up. It's a fun piece. It has some actually really neat visualizations that they use about how he's like just kind of a 3D modeling thing of like how he this one possession against the Nuggets last week where he just uses a different angle to get Jokic wildly out of position to drive on him and get around him. Mm-hmm. And like his use of angles is so impressive because I there's just going to be some point in time where teams adjust and sag off him a little more on these midi area things because he's just getting by people at sort of a silly rate with that left hand. It's a really Kirk Goldsberry is not exactly my bag of my bag of chips. He's not my favorite podcast listen, but he did a good job explaining in this article, and plus the visuals were great, so I recommend it. What else did I want to chat about? So like what
did you hit the fast break points? Because that was really funny.
32-4 is a riot. What are we
That's
doing next? That's hard to do. Like that, in a game of basketball that's 48 minutes long, giving like only scoring 4 fast break points against these Dallas Mavericks. Like that's how they've gotten killed. Some of these games is they give up too many fast break points.
Yep.
So shouts to Najee Marshall. He's just hilarious.
He had the best 7 of 18 game I've ever seen in my life.
He just looks like a fax machine version of Luka. Some of these possessions where he's really manipulating the defense and then gets to this spot that they just don't know how to defend. It's fun.
Yeah,
man.
I feel like the book is out on him, and teams cannot stop him from getting to where he wants to go. Like they just can't.
And he's probably the one who you see like, we can't trade him. And it's like, he's the one that they should probably, like, in my current Mavs trade value column, he's the one who I think fetches the most realistic, like, can you get a late first rounder for him? And I think the answer would be yes. He's but I get it. If you don't like if you don't want to trade him, I get it. He's really fun to watch. I think he's kind of a heart and soul guy with these Mavericks.
Dude, he is shooting almost 60% from the field in the month of January.
That's nuts. And that includes tonight's game.
I don't know if that includes tonight's game, but you know what it did include? He shot 60% from the field in December. He's a perimeter wing. Like, he's not a big man that's just eating up lob dunks.
That does not happen.
No.
Oh my God.
He might be like one of the 5 best paint scorers in the league.
That's outrageous.
In the league.
Just
like,
love watching him.
Not for his position, not for his team. Like, I think he's one of the 5 best paint scorers in the league at this rate. And especially after what he did last season.
Did you see the Stat Muse post about Dwight Powell?
Was it about how often he gets hit in the face?
No, but that is kind of a key point here.
Okay.
Let me go find this. The Mavericks are now 5-0 when Dwight Powell plays 25 or more minutes.
I know. I mean, some of it is competition. Like the Jazz are bad and the Knicks are on the downswing. So that helps. But also, like, he just knows what to do and he gets out of the way when he needs to get out of the way. Like, you know, like, and he sets really good screens.
Great screens.
That's that matters. In today's NBA, your bigs have to set great screens and be enthusiastic about it. Obviously, Anthony Davis is a good screen setter. Daniel Gafford is a good screen setter, but I don't know. Like, those guys have just been so hurt. Like, he's just mobile. Like, he can move. So there's something to that. But I hope whenever the Mavericks retire his number at the jersey retirement ceremony, they need to have like a video montage of him just getting repeatedly hit in the face on the balls.
Well, and that was the other part of the thing that we got to talk about. It's like I couldn't be happier to not have to root for Karl Anthony Towns. Just a weenie of the highest order. Did you see him at all? Were you paying any attention to his nonsense?
Yeah, I mean, he hit Powell in the nuts like three times. One of them they called a flagrant. Yeah.
I got texts from people who weren't even Mavs fans that were clearly just like watching the game in the middle of the day, being like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? And it's just, Towns he's like if Kurt Angle were a real figure in basketball, like an absolutely super talented guy, but just completely blissfully unaware of why people think he's a nerd and don't like him. Nerd's not the right word, but I couldn't think of an appropriate like name to call him.
I was wondering how you're going to tie this into Kurt Angle, because I was like, I feel like that's the exact opposite.
Kurt's he was such an asshole at the peak of his bit.
No, I know you're talking about like his character. Where
his character, like, the WWE thing, and it's
expecting
like
everyone to cheer him because he's a hero.
That is Cat, because he's like, I'm really great. Why doesn't anybody like me? Oh, I'm here. Let me assault a child.
I thought you were talking about like real life, because Kurt Angle was like one of the best, most intense workers of like all, like, I would not describe Cat as that. No, but you're right. You're right. The character. Yes, you're right. You're totally right.
Because I mean, like, look, the dude has 19 and 18. That should be in 5. No, 19, 18, and 4. Excuse me. That should be an incredible game. And yet, I think
he was awful.
You could directly attribute his bullshit to why the Knicks couldn't get back in this one.
Yeah, defensively, when he's your anchor, I mean, he's their starting big. The Mavericks just ran circles around him, and he played a lot of drop and they get a lot of threes. They beat him in transition, and that's how the Mavericks got a lot of transition threes. Like, it's just he's when they were doing really well when he was in Minnesota, I don't think it's a coincidence that like they had Rudy Gobert there. Like he doesn't have. I think he needs to play with another defensive anchor. I don't want to talk about the Knicks too much, but I think if he's the lone big on the floor, I think that's a weakness to exploit, and the Mavericks did that all day today.
Well, sorry, my wife shot me a text, and I was attempting to answer it. All right, I don't really got anything else for this one. Just wanted to bag on them real quick. This is kind of a. It's a. Look, if you're still a Mavs playoff believer, go right ahead. 8 games under 500s, in this weird conference is nothing to scoff at. They play a couple. They just play such a. These if they happen to come out, let's just read this stretch out loud. Golden State, Los Angeles, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Charlotte, who is feisty, Houston, Boston, San Antonio. Never mind. I was going to say you could make an argument. They don't have an easy game on the roster until February 22nd against the Pacers. Great take. What? Kurt Angle plus Gold Dust is cat. Sorry.
I could be trolly and say the Lakers game is probably.
Oh no, the Lakers game is absolutely winnable. The Lakers are a mess right now, just a mess. Yeah. Like even this current iteration of the Mavericks could probably beat the Lakers, just because it's like they can't play. Like Luka and LeBron have to be outrageous, and then LeBron is just not there, and Luka is just in peak January palms up bullshit.
I mean, you talk about the Mavericks sending every opposing fan base into an existential crisis. Lakers fans have been in an existential crisis for like 4 weeks. Could you imagine the cherry on top of the Mavericks?
Yeah, they really. I'm really baffled.
You're Lakers. A lot of Lakers fans. They are not happy.
But not only that, like because I've had to be on social media for this offside gig, like different social medias.
Yeah,
Lakers fans feel some kind of way about Luka. And you just get this hive mix of people who are there since the Kobe days, then LeBron, and then Luka, and it's just a toxic mix of assholes who don't know anything about basketball. It's like you're allowed to like one of the things I don't think the Lakers fans understood about Luka, this is my take, is that Luka raises your floor and your ceiling. But then there's like 3-week stretches where he sinks your floor so fucking low that you don't know what to do with it because he's just not on it. And that's where they're at right now. They're just in January doldrums, and they were not supposed to be very good this year, and they jumped out to a great start, and they're just going to kind of try to hang on. And the funny part is their schedule actually is very kind of like the Mavericks is going to end up being. It's very backloaded for television games.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
Well, we'll have fun recording. We don't record again until Thursday, which is that's when the Mavs play again. So I'm going to definitely do this Mavs party here just so we can have some stuff up on the feed. Head on over to Mavs Moneyball. There is a piece coming out tomorrow, I think, where Joe, one of our writers, he misunderstood my directive where I was quite literally saying, hey, copy and paste you guys arguing in the Slack and put it into an article. But instead he combined all the arguments about why Darren Peterson is or isn't the number 1 overall pick. We're just getting to that point in the season where we're going to start turning some of our attention to draftee guys, and we have a lot of opinions. And so that's a fun piece that's coming up. There's just, I don't know. I've been proud of the work that we've put out more or less. It's a tough point in the season to write, and there's just stuff up. So head on over to Mavs Moneyball. Do you got anything else?
No, I'm good. Why don't you talk to the people? They might be fired up about this.
That way, and then we're both gonna go play Arc Raiders. I'm still playing. I played for 2 hours the other night by myself, and I finally got stuff. I had 6 runs in a row where I was out and I'd play for 15 minutes, and then I'd go back in before the timer expired, and I just didn't find anything, including things that were on the entry level missions. And then I had 2 in a row where I found the things that I was supposed to be looking for. And that made me feel much less crazy, where I'm like, what the fuck are people talking about with this game? Oh, okay. I get it. This is fun.
Right. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
That's right. All right. We'll talk soon. Everybody who wants to hang on for Mavs Party, hang around. We'll be right back, and go Mavs. Hello, Mavs fans. Welcome to Pod Maverick Mavs Party. I'm Kirk Henderson. It is 9:15. I figured I would host one of these just to see if anybody had anything they wanted to talk about, but it could be entirely possible that everyone has decided to watch the national championship game on ESPN for college football. It is University of Miami versus Indiana, and that is a very fun matchup, one I've been kind of keeping an eye on here out of the corner of my eye. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Knicks 114-97. That was a very fun game. You guys just heard Josh and I talk about it, and just sort of wanted to have this out there in case anyone had any more takes, but just kind of look at the numbers about who's here in the live show. It doesn't seem like there's anyone here. If that's the case, I'm just going to go ahead and close up. It's not a big deal. We'll be back on Thursday. Everybody be good. Go Mavs.